Okay guys, so that is the Countryman there, which I have just passed over to Bobby, and now I find myself here in the Clubman. So we're still inside his condo parking, but just want to show you guys the ambient lighting here before we go. This is rather cool. So in the Clubman, sorry, in the Countryman, right, we saw that the trim piece here. I showed you that the trim piece here lights up at night when you switch on the lights. This one, the lighting element is in the door trim piece, and you can see there is a bi-color arrangement. There's red and green contrast tiles. So I'm going to flick this button here. Okay, this is the one that changes the ambient light color lighting. So this is a white. This now becomes white. This is still red and green. Now there you see there's a subtle change in the color. So now it's orange tone, a deeper orange, red. So here right now you can see the red tiles continue to stay red, whilst the green tiles become progressively darkened. Now this is full red, and yeah, and this is purple. So the contrast is there again. This is really nice. Okay, this is a good touch of detail. And now the red tiles have blanked out. Yeah. So you can see here inside, you compare to the Countryman that I just passed over to Bobby, the basic architecture is, well, identical, but the details are different. It's a different aircon vent. Yes, this center screen here, this rounded circular center screen here remains the same. This is a touch screen. Yeah, this is a touch screen, but there's a slight differentiation in terms of the trim pieces that they use. So they use different design trim inserts to give a differentiation in terms of the design. So this Cooper S variant that I'm testing here, this has paddle shifters. The Countryman earlier did not, and a well-known mini trait. Okay, so I'm not the steering wheel adjustment column. The instrument cluster is attached to the steering column. Okay, so when you move up and down, the instrument cluster follows, but of course not when you pull in and out. In and out don't have. Okay, it just moves up and down. So what this means is that they have taken this is of course to ensure that however you position the steering, you choose to position the steering does not interfere with your line of sight to the instrument cluster. And I also like how Mini has stuck to a very traditional looking gauge. This by today's standard, this dial type appearance is almost old-fashioned, but Mini has managed to put it in this way. It almost looks like a motorcycle instrument cluster, and you know, this is entirely in keeping with Mini's personality of being a sort of like a mash between a hipster and a cheerful brand. You know, that you look at this, right, perhaps in other cars you may not be ready to accept, because like we have seen with, say, the G20 320i, all right, a lot of my colleagues, they were not happy with the presentation of the semi-digital analog display. But this is in actual fact an even more rudimentary design, but somehow it just fits with the personality of this car. And to be frank, if you were to put a full, you know, digital instrument cluster in this car, it may not be such a good fit with its personality. So another contrast between the Clubman that I reviewed earlier, that Clubman had a mechanical shift lever. This has a a fully shift by wire setup, electronic shifter. Shall get on with the drive. So I swapped the Countryman plug-in hybrid for this good old-fashioned all-combustion Cooper S Clubman. Well, immediately I can feel that the lower right height of this Clubman means that it feels more planted to the ground. There's a bit more firmness to the right, but you also feel that, you know, there is less secondary body motions when you go over a bump or a pothole. And the best part is it doesn't feel harsh. This feels really like a suspension setup that is geared towards sportiness, but just comfortable enough for it to be a viable day-to-day proposition. Okay, morning guys. So this is always something very cool about the Clubman. This dual opening doors to load, to access the cargo room. And today indeed, this car will be carrying some very special cargo indeed. Okay, definitely passes the practicality check. These two are check-ins. These two bags, they are about check-in size already. Okay, let me see. That's like what they call chasm, 70 liters. Then these two bags on top. All right, this is another, well, large size backpack. There's a smaller one in there. All right, all sumbat inside here, and you close the door. So remember the convention with the Clubman: you close the left side, then the right side. Okay guys, so slight dumbass moment from me. And so as you know, right, a lot of our in-car videos, we record it by, you know, sticking our camera on the you know, on our windows. And today I committed the cardinal sin of putting my Sony camera on the passenger door, and I lowered the window, and the result is a broken mount. Damn it. Alright, got the barang. Okay, so the mount fits as per normal. And yep, so why did I spend 167 ringgit for this mount? Simply because it has proven itself to be a very solid mount, a very stable mount, and one that has not lost suction despite repeated usage over the past 1 or so years. So I mean, in previous times, right, I've bought cheap mounts before. They either lose stability or they lose suction, but this one, the suction has been stable all through, so very happy with it. And why do I continue to put this the camera in this position? This perspective gives you guys the best view of the car's dashboard as I drive. Okay, so hope you guys are settled back there again. Now after that brief interruption, we can continue. Well, where do I start? Firstly, this is the Cooper S. So with the 2-liter turbo engine, this is a very nippy, very agile car, right? It is basically the perfect car for you to do your city commutes. So I have to say, right, despite its rather, you know, well, what you would call the typical Mini styling, there's that cheeky styling, like you know, look behind it, right? This is a surprisingly well matured and well balanced car in every sense of the word. So it's very practical, very good luggage space, as I demonstrated earlier in this video, and the driving, the overall driving dynamics package. It's the engine is peppy, it's fun, you know, it's very nice to point this car and shoot. What's more, the controls are very responsive, but not not overwhelming. All right, not it manages to be responsive, but not overwhelm you with an over edgy kind of feel. So regardless whether you are driving with enthusiastically, or you just want to use it as a city roundabout, this car has a very good blend of abilities for you. Right. Grab lunch. So like you see here, it's great. This is great for you to squeeze in through tight spaces. All right, and the ride quality is rather comfortable, and especially if you're coming from the R54 generation, right, R56 generation minis. This is the ride quality here, I would say, is downright plush. So it feels overall as such a well-resolved package. And coming back to what I said when I reviewed the Countryman, it's just such a joyful car to drive.
Kat screen ya, serta tadi 15 posting.
Okay, terima kasih.
Sama.
Pay kan? Tekan pay kan? Okay, terima kasih. Terima kasih. So coming back to the Clubman, I would say that in this Cooper S format, this is such a well-balanced package. And just because it's a mini, it no longer, it's not, you can't even say that this is not practical, because it is spacious. All right, good storage compartment availability all around, well, good boot space at the back, and of course that dual opening boot, that is a very that's something rather unique, and I think it sort of gives you a sense of occasion every time you open it, because it's different. It's different from other cars out there where you either open a boot or a hatch upwards. This one opens like, you know, like your grandmother's cupboard. So the driving part of it is also, I would say, a fairly good mix of abilities. It caters to the enthusiast with, you know, fast responsive controls, right? The engine overall, engine and transmission pairing overall gives a good blend of responsiveness, of sheer performance, as well as yeah, smoothness. It's just a very, very responsive setup. And the suspension is a firmish suspension, but one that somehow manages to not adversely affect its ride comfort, because this one it feels like a genuine, it's a car which you can ferry passengers in. All right, so yes, you do feel a bit of the ground beneath you, but the suspension just does such a fantastic job to damp out what's underneath. And it also does a very good job in cancelling out the body rolls, so you get a lot of confidence powering this thing through corners. And the controls are so responsive, so reactive. You get a sense really of what's going on with the car, and you know, and how much grip you have, how much body roll you have. There's a very intimate form of communication with the car that you don't often get these days. And to top it all off, the cabin design is, at one, the design is in typical Mini fashion unique, but it is also superbly built. The build quality of this is I would say of a higher level than even the BMW X1 or the 2 Series Grand Coupe. You know, because with the X1, with the 2 Series Grand Coupe, you really feel like you are in an entry-level BMW. This one, there is a higher grade of fit and finish to this that makes this feel like a more expensive product. No, actually it is, but you know, you get the picture, right? It earns its money. Okay guys, so while I'm waiting for my colleague TJ, well, let's check out the Mini from the outside. This is the Clubman Cooper S, and this color, okay, yesterday I brought this car home. Well, my wife loves this color, all right, you know, in many other cars I would say this is a very feminine color, but somehow this it fits the Mini's personality. All right, it fits the Mini's personality. For my own taste, maybe I would prefer something a bit more grayish, but it's a nice color that gives the car a likable character. So this car has quite a sporty themed finish. You see a lot of gloss black trim surrounds here around the headlights, and this, remember, is a clamshell bonnet, so the whole thing comes up, okay, to get from here. Okay, here's the bonnet shut line, comes down here, that, and it goes up. The whole piece goes up, but the headlight does not move, so the headlight is fixed. When you lift this is a gap here. All right, yeah, so you see the front grille also has this gloss black surrounds, but an interesting way they treat the front is how this, when you view it from the side, right, it sort of like bulges out. Okay, sort of like gives it projects out for an extra inch or two of frontal overhangs. So aerodynamically, you can see here, this is a functional air vent. Okay, and to re-emphasize the Mini's British identity, there's a lot of you see a lot of Union Jack inspired motifs. You see on the rims, the tail lights as well, and of course there's this Mini Yours badge here fixed to that rear 3/4 window. So you come up over here and look at the profile of the Clubman. This is an almost estate-like profile, so you can think of this something as a mini touring, if you like. Okay, now of course, compared to the previous gen Clubman, this one is a bit more conventional because it has 4 conventional doors, whereas if you remember the previous gen Clubman, which Bobby owned one himself, had asymmetrical doors. Okay, yeah, so it has a long door on one side, and then 2 doors, right? 2 suicide opening doors, 2 doors on the other side, almost like the Mazda RX-8, right? A front hinge with a rear hinge door. So guys, you know the Malaysian superstition about, you know, how car washes summon rain, right? So right now, it's already raining, it's already drizzling, but decided to give the Mini a car wash, the Clubman a car wash anyways, because just now I brought TJ to, I picked TJ up with the idea of doing a photo shoot of this car. He looked at the condition of the car with all the leaves there and whatnot. He said, sorry Con, I can't shoot this. So here I am, bringing this guy here for a wash. So here is the Clubman washed. Let me just continue by showing you the inside of the car. So, well, nice. You've got rear aircon vents, okay, isofix mounts here with flip up covers, and the third passenger seat belt is fixed to the seat back. So the good thing is when you fold the seat down, okay, the whole seat belt comes down with it. It gives you a through access to the boot. Okay, the armrest here, this is a BMW Group component, and okay, what can I say? Fantastic headroom, good lean angle. Can I adjust this? Let me just try. Okay, good lean angle, good knee room as well, and decent thigh support. So I would say overall, right, this the Clubman here presents a very interesting proposition. So its price is 300,000 ringgit, which is actually more than the BMW 330i. But you think about it from a utility standpoint, the Clubman it almost offers you the same kind of interior space, you know, and also driving experience in terms of agility, performance, enthusiast appeal, almost there with a 3 Series. In terms of size, it's there, and in terms of interior build quality, it sort of gives you a very good interesting alternative to the 3 Series genre, the 3 Series segment, okay, but in the far more youthful package and identity of a Mini. Because think about it, a 3 Series probably wouldn't look good in a color like this. A Mini does.